What's up, guys? Welcome to your 65th Android tutorial for the new Boston. Again, it's me, Travis. What we're going to do is do like simple animation and adding a few other things that we can do with this canvas here. So let's first do our animation. And how we're going to do that is just basically set up an int, or let's do a float. Yeah, float. That's something new. And we're just going to call this changing Y. Yeah, changing Y sounds good. And basically within our constructor, because again this is going to be called because that's just how things work, I guess. Changing Y, we're going to set it equal to be 0. Now what we can do is, instead of having this 0 here, we can put in a variable such as our changing Y. And at the moment it's still 0, so it's not going to change anything. But what we can do is we can now add change, because basically this on draw is going to be looping, so we can say changing Y. Actually, let's do if changing Y is less than canvas dot get height, then we're gonna add to it. So it's gonna get bigger and bigger until it gets to the size of our canvas. So we're going to add like what, 10 pixels or something. And if that's not the case, if it's bigger than the canvas, then we're going to say else, and we're just going to start it over. Changing Y is equal to 0. So it's basically going to start it over. And now if we run this as well, because basically this on draw thing is going to be called over and over and over. Or actually, right now it's not. I'm sorry. We need to do one last thing. So within our on draw, we need to do one method called invalidate. And basically, it's going to like check. It's going to go through this on draw. It's going to be like, hey man, you draw the background white. It's going to be like, yeah. It's like, hey man, you put the ball on there? Yeah. Hey man, did you change the changing Y variable? Yeah. Alright, I think we're done for the day. And then like the boss is like, invalidated, do it over again. That's not the case. Just restart it. So that's going to cause it to go into a loop of some sort. So you have to have that invalidate method. We're just going to save that and run it now. And this is going to be our first simple animation, because our changing Y is 0, and then it's going to go through and paint everything, and then it's going to invalidate. So it's going to start over, but our changing Y variable will now be 10, which will make it go a little bit lower on the canvas until it gets to the point that the number is so high it's the same or bigger, a greater value than the height of our canvas, and then it's going to start it back at 0. So I mean, it's not that cool of an animation, but there we go. It's something simple. Now let's add something else to our screen here. So after we've changed our value, let's add a box or a rectangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to say rec. This is a class name, basically referring to a rectangle class, and we're going to say middle rec for because we're going to put this rectangle in the middle for the most part. So we need to import a rectangle, and what we're going to do, we're going to say new rec, and that's a method. And basically that's just like what we did with our our graphics class, except this time we aren't passing anything in. So the constructor of the rec class is going to have nothing within its parameters. So hopefully you're kind of getting this this constructor and this new business going on. So basically we set up a new rectangle, and now we're just going to kind of define the rectangle. So what we can do is say middle rectangle, and then we say dot set. And as you can see, we have a left, top, right, bottom. So let's do our left as 0. Our right's going to be canvas dot get width. And then our height, let's just guess on this. Let's just do like 400. And for our bottom, again, this is the top of the rectangle, and this is the bottom, so we're going to say 500. So it's going to be just like, let's do 550. So there we go. We kind of set up the dimensions of the rectangle now, and now let's also set up a certain color. So what we can do is something like a paint, which is going to be a paint variable, and we're going to say R blue. Obviously we could refer to the color class and then do blue because I'm sure they have that. But we're going to do it a little different way. Just be, teaching you guys something new. So we have our paint, our blue, and now we're going to say, new paint. I'm sorry, space out there. Paint, and then we can say our blue dot set color to, again, color dot blue, and let's say, let's just keep it at that for now. I'll show you guys some other stuff in the next tutorial because this one's getting kind of lengthy, but all we have to do now is we got to paint them onto our canvas, so we need to refer to our canvas and say dot draw rec, and then it takes a rectangle and a paint within its parameters. So we're going to say a rectangle, which we just created, was middle rectangle, or middle rect, and our paint was called R blue. So R blue, yeah. And let's see how that looks. So we're just going to save this and run this as well. I know this tutorial's getting kind of long. And then we'll probably do maybe one more tutorial before we actually get into the way that you guys want to do it. Because right now we're extending the view class, and that's not necessarily the way you want to do animations and such. So we'll probably do one more just to get you guys familiar with how to draw rectangles or bitmaps onto some kind of a canvas. So let's open this up, and there we go. This is 400 down, and this is 550 pixels down. As you can see, the ball goes behind the rectangle because within our code we painted the ball first, and then we painted our rectangle after that onto our canvas here. So the ball's being painted, and then the rectangle is being painted on top of that. So hopefully you guys get some information out of this tutorial, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.